Alright, yeah, welcome back to some more Magic Arena, and today we're going to be playing another Gateshift brew, one that's actually been doing a little bit of the rounds, but this one I have produced myself, but of course there's only so much creativity that can go into a already established deck. We're going to be playing Gateshift, which is basically a Gateshift variant and with gates attached to it. So Gateshift being the 4-mana sorcery, you get to sacrifice any number of lands and search your library for up to that many land cards, put them onto the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle your library. So basically, what we want to be doing is having something that cares about lands entering the battlefield, and most of you should know by now that Field of the Dead is that answer. When Field of the Dead enters the battlefield under your control, if you control 7 or more lands with different names, then you get to create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. This is probably one of the best win cons in Magic at the moment because it's on a land and nobody's playing Field of Ruin because 3-color decks are greedy. So, you know, this is any kind of Gateshift deck is really well positioned in the format right now, so we're going to be taking advantage of that and hopefully playing a bit of ranked to some decent success. So we have the Gateshift to find all of our lands. We want all 7 lands, so we want to get up to about that point. And when Field of the Dead enters with the other lands, it's going to trigger for each land that enters. If we get 2 Field of the Deads and 6 other unique lands, then it's going to trigger twice for each land that entered the battlefield as well. So we're going to be able to make a lethal amount of zombie tokens, hopefully. But until then, we're going to be basically giving off our usual Gates strategy. So we've got the payoff cards of Guild Summit. This one draws you cards when Gates enter the battlefield. We have Gates Ablaze, which is our board wipe of choice, dealing X damage to each creature, where X is the number of gates you control. So by turn 3, we might have an X3 for 3 mana, which is pretty good, you know. It's like the sweltering suns that we all wish that we actually could have in this format right now. Excuse me. But yeah, it's just a really nice powerhouse board wipe, and it's basically the only one we need, because we're going to be drawing a lot of cards using Guild Summits and Hydroid Crisis, so we're really not going to have any trouble finding these cards. Our Boreal Grazer as a turn 1 play to hopefully get to 3 mana on turn 2. Growth Spiral gets to put lands into play, which is very nice when all of our lands are tapped lands, so we want to make sure that we're putting them into play as quickly as possible so that we have them untapped as quickly as possible. Rejuvenator fires lands. Pretty much speaks for itself. So does Circuitous Route. This says 2 lands or gates as well, so we can get the unique lands. Circuitous Route is the powerhouse to make sure that our Field of the Dead goes into play on time, because obviously from turn 4, hopefully you'll have 4 unique lands already in play. Circuitous Route takes you up to 6, and then the land drop the turn after you play the route should hopefully be our 7th to start triggering Field of the Dead. So as soon as turn 4 or 5, we can actually get Field of the Dead starting to trigger. We have Golosh as well, who allows us to find any land that we want. Obviously, we're going to want Field of the Dead or the missing unique land from that ETB effect. And then, because we're a 5-color deck, that we actually get to take advantage of his bottom effect there. We're actually a 4-color deck technically, but we do actually splash a black mana here to make sure that we can actually do the Golosh nonetheless. Exile the top 3 cards of your library, and then you get to play them this turn without paying their mana costs. So hopefully we get enough value off of those 3 cards to make it worth it. We can even play lands off of it, which is pretty sweet. Finally, we have Chandra, Awakened Inferno. A little bit precarious in the format right now with the amount of elementals that are coming around, but a 6-mana, 6-loyalty Planeswalker that cannot be countered. We're running this against the control decks that might actually be running counter magic, or if we need a board wipe, the -3 is available to us there. But yes, what we want to be doing is using that +2 to give our opponent an emblem, which says that it deals 1 damage to them at the beginning of their upkeep, which means that we're putting our opponent on a clock that they cannot remove. So basically, if we haven't done damage the entire time up to Chandra, it's a 20-turn clock, and then we get to apply another one so that they can 2 a turn, so it becomes a 10-turn clock, and so on and so forth. It's pretty sweet. The -X allows us to pick off any creature or planeswalker we want. Being up to -6 is pretty sweet. So that's essentially the main deck. The mana base basically speaks for itself. 4 Plaza of Harmonies, we get 3 life off of that, and it also produces mana based on the guild gates that we have in play. So as long as we have 1 guild gate, we have the double mana that we need for anything like Gateshift or Chandra or anything like that, but we're not really running any doubles outside of that. 1 basic forest in case we get Field of Ruined or Assassin's Trophied. At least we have 1 thing that we can grab there, but basically this mana base is quite greedy. 4 Simic Guild Gates for 2 breeding pools, because we're Simic in the early game. And yeah, that's basically it. Sideboard, we have 3 negates against control matchups. Not sure if this is the best answer against control matchups, because most of them run Teferi Time Raveler. But we're running Teferi Time Raveler against our opponent, who might be running counter spells as well. This also allows us on the +1 to actually cast Scapeshift at instant speed. So if our opponent's running board wipes, we can use Scapeshift on the end of their turn to make enough lethal zombies to kill our opponent. So it's pretty sweet. 2 Lava Coils against pretty much any creature you might want to remove in the early game, exiles them, so if graveyard synergies are relevant, we can get right on rid of them. Cindervines against the Nexus of Fate decks. When your opponent casts out a non-creature spell, deals 1 damage to that player, and then you also use it as enchantment or artifact removal if that ends up being relevant. 1 Ixalan's Binding, just to pick off any pesky planeswalkers that might be a problem. If our opponent has a build around and we find our binding, we can take it out. Pretty much Nissa decks don't do very well without their Nissa, so Ixalan's Binding is pretty much what we want to bring that in for. Archway Angel against the aggro decks, gaining 2 life for each gate we control. Not really coming up against much aggro this season, so I'm pretty much resigning most of my aggro hate to this sideboard. We do also have Gates Ablaze and Hydroid Crisis life gain anyway to keep us going, so if we do need something like Archway Angel against a deck like Mono Red, presumably we should be able to ramp to 6 before we're dead and gain a ton of life, and from there, probably stabilize and win. An extra copy of Chandra if we're up against that control matchup that we are running this in the main for. And finally, a Mass Manipulation, because we are generating a metric ton of mana in this deck, so we should be able to steal whatever our opponent's win cons are and have some fun with them. So that's essentially the deck, guys. I hope you enjoy it. Deck list will down in the description below if you're interested in playing it yourself. But without further ado, if you'd be so kind as to hit the like button and subscribe for content like this in the future, it really means the world to me and really helps out the channel, so greatly appreciate it. But without further ado, let's get into the games, and I'll see you there. Okay, we're in, and this hand's okay. Just okay. We need blue mana before we can actually play the Guild Summit, because this only gets based on your gates, which only Selesnya at the moment. But I'm going to keep this one. I think we can make it work. And we're up against a Nissa deck. That's all you need to know. It includes a Nissa in it, guys. It probably includes 4. Yeah, it's just the matter of which Simic deck it's going to be, or which Nissa deck, sorry. But the likelihood is that we see Nissa next turn, so that's fun. Alright. Arboreal Glazer. Glazer? The Arboreal Glazer. Glaze. Alright, Nissa me. Yeah.
Behold, nature's true power.
We'll take 3. Where's my blue mana? Can I have some blue mana? Elvish Rejuvenator. Is it Guildgate? That is blue. Alright. Play the Plaza, and there's no point playing the Grazer. So we'll just pass them up. What we can do is keep the Grazer in hand until like Guild Summit's drawn as multiple cards, and therefore we have multiple lands in hand. Something like that anyway. Chandra's pretty bad in this matchup, obviously because these are elementals. So we can't really wipe the board as much as we'd like. And everything else is pretty much above 3 damage anyway on that -3.
Rise, my elemental friend.
Hard to beat a turn 3 Nissa when it happens every time. I think we're getting Hydroid Crisis. X6. Looks like it. Yeah. Alright, opponent's got the nuts. How do we beat the nuts? We need a Gates Ablaze before our opponent ults Nissa. I think that's basically our out here. So... Guild Summit. Show me the money. Nope. Alright, next game. We're not beating that. Okay, Nissa decks. How do we beat Nissa decks? Well, we bring in the mass manipulations, because that's kind of funny. Ixalan's Binding shuts down Nissa. It's pretty easy answer to it. This looks like the Simic one as well, so... we just need answers to Hydroid Crisis and things like that. We definitely don't want the Chandra Awakened Inferno. I could bring in the Teferi Time Ravelers. They're pretty good at bouncing Mana Dorks and things. Otherwise, they're not that amazing, but I think we're going with our natural Field of the Dead plan here. So we want to accommodate for that. Anything that else was bad? Kind of like everything we've got, so I think it's going to have to be a trim. So let's go down a Grazer and one Circuitous Route. It could be a Gateshift, since that's kind of late game anyway. But they might be running counter magic. I don't know. I think this is probably good enough. I mean, maybe it's Golos over the Circuitous Route. Yeah, it's probably better. I mean, this does fetch our Field of the Dead, but Circuitous Route is double triggers once we've got a field, so let's just draw what we want, like our opponent. Alright, let's be on the play and draw a good hand. This is a good hand. It doesn't have white mana, but we can make that work. So it's going to be Simic Guildgate into Forest, most likely. So that growth spiraling the Field of the Deads and things like that. Oh, we got multiple audio sources right now. Oh, that's disturbing. Alright. Pass the turn. We want to pretend that we've got negate, even though we don't. And it also doesn't really matter, but... let's just get the Gruul Guildgate down. Now I'm wishing I'd maybe gotten the Plaza of Harmony down, but that's fine. So let's go with the Plaza of Harmony, and then we can growth spiral some stuff in. I guess we should do it now, just in case we draw something we like. We can do Breeding Pool untapped. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This will get us 6, and then Field of the Dead will be 7. We want the Demir Guildgate for the unique land. Alright, actually we're in a pretty decent spot. We have the Selesnya Guildgate, so we can Teferi at some point in our lives. Field of the Dead's coming down next turn, though. So we want to get that going. You don't really want to bounce a Risen Reef, honestly. Get in for one. But our opponent will play land and Nissa. And then we'll Selesnya Guildgate, bounce the land that they use, most likely. It's hard for them not to use a forest here. I'm sure they probably won't, though. So go land and Nissa. Oh, double Risen Reef, okay. Maybe they didn't have the land, but now they sure as hell do. Oh, now they do. Wow. Okay, we've got the alternative nut draw. Plaza of Harmony. Okay, well, let's go Selesnya Guildgate, which turns the Plaza into a white source. And then we get to Teferi here.
I'm known for my excellent timing.
And we're going to bounce the Paradise Druid, because it actually represents the most damage, and it's also tapped, so we want to get that out of the way as soon as possible. Let's play the Guild Summit here. So we can start drawing some cards. Group Guildgate, okay. And you can actually get in with a... oh, well, the zombie, actually. 2 blockers to their 2 Risen Reefs. Dang it. They caught on. I shouldn't have attacked. Had a bit of a brain fart moment where I was like, nah, I shouldn't attack. But then I was like, but there's a zombie there. Zombie must smoke. Alright. Nissa. Play it. Always be a Nissa. Always be Nissa-ing. So we win if we get Gateshift, because I don't think our opponent can do anything about it. So we just have to draw one of our 3 Gateshifts. Golos would also be pretty good as well, because it could get us the second Field of the Dead. We can start triggering that and then activating Golos. Short of like mass manipulation, there's not much they can do to stop us there. If they do play a Nissa as well, then Ixalan's Binding's a good top deck. Maul. Voracious Hydra. Fighting my 1/1. Interesting. Wants to kill Teferi Time Raveler that badly, it seems. Enough to trade off a Risen Reef. Yeah, I really shouldn't have attacked. It's fine though. Oh. Never punished? Because my opponent's a weird boy? Okay, well, guild get. Oh, come on. That's tilting.
This
No attacks.
might be a bad idea.
Well, we get Field of the Dead down. Again, we're still just a Gateshift off of victory. We have lots and lots of good draws. We just have to find them. Which is proving quite difficult, apparently. Thrashing Brontodon killed the Guild Summit, sure. I was wanting to play the Field of the Dead ideally anyway next turn, so... if they kill it, then it just makes my decision better for me. Yeah, now I don't have a choice. I'm just going to Field of the Dead and make 2 zombies. And we've got a pretty good board state here. Despite what it appears on my opponent's side. Yeah, it just got a whole lot better. Let's get 2 zombies. Tick up Teferi, and then pass the turn. We can now cast sorceries at instant speed, so we're going to Circuitous Root our opponent when they go to attack. They're only going to do the math on what we see here. Maybe they'll take into account our Circuitous Root, but I feel a little bit doubtful of that. And we'll get 4 zombies, so another 8 power on board that our opponent's not taking into account. It's also the rule of instant and sorcery usage as well. If you can use it at instant speed at the very last minute, you absolutely should. There are less situations where that is a wrong decision than a right one. We're getting Crasist. I believe the plural of Crasist is Crasisist. Funnily enough. There's Nissa.
Power surges through these lands.
Okay.
The land shall conquer you.
That's a land. Now they've got combat. No attacks. Alright, well. Let's get some... well. We've already got our basic in place. We can only really take guild gates. I was going to say I'd leave some guild gates for future guild summits to use, but it's not really an option, so... let's go Izzet and Simic. Make 4 zoms. They might be afraid of getting escape shifted at any moment, which is what I'm really hoping that we'll do. Another Field of the Dead. Okay, well, 3 more zombies. When is it the right time to get on in?
More like it.
We have 9 attackers to their 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blockers, so we could kill Nissa. If we attack Nissa with everything, we will lose 2 zombies, so we'd have 10 zombies left. We also have 3 blockers back. 3 blockers is enough to kill the Voracious Hydra. And Teferi lives through a land hitting him. So I think it might be correct to kill Nissa here. They've also got instant speed shenanigans to worry about. Actually, we lose an extra one because of the Incubation Druid. Yeah. Alright.
The land will not forsake you.
Nissa's down. We still got 9 zombies, which is a nice amount of zombies to have. Exactly 6 power worth, untapped as well to block the Voracious Hydra. So we can trade that big boy off. Yeah, they want to go after the Paradise Druid. So where do we go as far as our blocks are concerned? Because we can take a lot of mana out of play here in the right situation, but do we just let this go? Because now they've got 4 blockers to my 9. So that's 10 damage coming at them. We can't actually save Teferi, so basically we just want to do the profitable blocks, if there are actually any profitable blocks to be had, which feels like there aren't any. I think I'm going to say no blocks and let Teferi go.
This is hardly my worst defeat.
Just use him to casually absorb 1,000,000 damage. Alright. Guild Summit is a good draw. Not sure how many gates we want to tap for this. Have you got counter magic? Wow, okay. Okay. Well then, let's play Plaza of Harmony and get 3 more zombies. We'll get attacking. We only lose 1 in this exchange. Alright, they're at 7. We lost 1 zombie. We're at 23. They do not have even nearly enough damage to threaten lethal. We're getting another 3 zombies next turn. 4 if we draw Field of the Dead. Or our Golos. 1,000,000 if we draw Escape Shift. We can also, I think we can mass manipulate as well for 1, 2, 3, about 4 or 5. We can steal from our opponent's side of the board if we find it. Which might include this Hydroid Crisis that they're going for. Oh, have they got... They're doing a count on me. Yeah. Wow. They just stole a lot of my zombies. Huh. There's a lot of zombies. I do also have a lot of my own. So let's get 3. And then let's get another 6. And we can take them down 2, which I think is worthwhile. We got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 2 things get through. Yeah, I'm going to swing. Can't believe that mass manipulation. It was very, very high amount there. 7. X7. It's a lot of mana. Alright. Getting some trades. We hit him for 2. We get some zombies out of the way that we probably would have been blocking anyway. And our opponent should be afraid to attack, because if we survive it, we can swing back for lethal. Realistically. Come on, we've got so many I win the game cards. Can we just draw one? I mean, even at this point, Gates Ablaze is probably an I win the game card. Hydroid Crisis draws our entire deck pretty much. Golos gets another Field of the Dead, so it's another 4 zombies, plus the activations as well, so we maybe even get Escape Shift off of that. Okay. Decided against it, because they couldn't threaten lethal. There we go. Alright, we got the Escape Shift. So I guess we'll just swing in and get some trades going, because we're going to rebuild anyway. We've only got 9 lands left in our deck, though, and one of them's the Field of the Dead, which I think should be fine. We can definitely trigger Escape Shift again. Oh, the Field of the Dead, sorry. I do have a deck tracker, so I can see which lands are left, which ones I should sacrifice, rather than doing the count on my mana base, which is like 4 Plaza of Harmonies, 1 Field of the Dead. I think it's 4 Izzet Guild Gates, 4 Simic Guild Gates. Alright. They're at 3. Oh, actually, we have the 4th Simic Guild Gate right here. So it's 2 Plaza of Harmonies, 1 Breeding Pool, 1 Stomping Ground, 1 Golgari Guild Gate, 1 Izzet Guild Gate, 1 Field of the Dead, 1 Azorius. Alright, so Simic Guild Gate. Let's make 3 zombies. And then let's do some shenanigans. So, Escape Shift. Sacrifice. We don't have any of these Azorius Guild Gates. Sacrifice the Izzets, because we're going to replace those. The Golgari, we don't have any. 1 Stomping Ground, 1 Breeding Pool. The Plazas we want to get rid of. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's all of the lands in our deck. So grab them all, and I think if I've done the math correctly, we should trigger them all. Taps, taps. Yeah, alright. 38. Let's see you mass manipulate these, opponent. And we're at 21. Alright, we got 42 zombies. Yeah. We did it. We did it, boys. Okay, anything we want to change about that? Our opponent brought in counter magic, so we could bring in our own counter magic. It is an answer to their Nissa, I suppose. And mass manipulation. It's what we bring out, though, that is the crux of the issue. Because we got some good stuff here. I guess we'll go down the grazers. I like the idea of ramping quicker, but maybe we do a trim as well. Bring in some grazers by trimming. Oops, not the Chandra. Grazer. 1 Hydroid Crisis for a grazer. Because I really do want to be having a decent amount of ramp. Maybe the Teferi Time Ravel is not entirely necessary either. It stops counter magic. But I don't think it's necessary. We can leave 1 in, I guess. 2 negates, 3 grazers. We'll try it like that. I do want to be able to stop my opponent from negating, but I don't think a Teferi on its own is really going to do that. Especially since they're so aggressive and he needs to be around for a turn. He's just so good for the tempo swing on 3. This hand looks to be unkeepable. We have no green. And that's basically the base colour of this deck, so throw that one back. And yeah, we'll keep this one. Let's go down the Hydroid Krasis. Oh, I can shift things around. Maybe I tab out, tab back in. No, alright, well, I'm gonna make a quick cut, guys. Alright, can I click things? Yes, I can. Alright, we're doing it. We're back. This has been very weird recently. I don't understand what's been going on. Turn 1, Llanowar Elves. Well, we're gonna go with the... I think we're gonna go with the turn 1 Arboreal Grazer. It doesn't keep us on Guild Summit on 3 though, which might be important. But I think it's probably for the best that we stay on par with our opponent here. And we want as many colours as possible, just because if we get the fountain. So let's just go with it as a Guild Gate. Yeah. Risen Reef. Alright. So it begins. Our opponent gets out of that bad draw of theirs. We get a Simic Guild Gate. Okay, well, Guild Gate and say go. Next time we get Guild Summit into land drop. Draw a card. So that's not too bad. If we find an untapped land again, we can play Golosh. Question for you guys. Is it Golosh or Golos? Or Golos? Let me know. Everybody's got a different opinion, so I'm curious what yours is. I like Golosh. I think it sounds cooler. Ah, Thrashing Brontodon. That's not fair. Well, I'm still gonna play the Guild Summit, so you can't really stop this from happening. And it gets a 3/4 off the board, so I'm happy with that. Circuitous Route. That's a nice one. So Circuitous Route into Golosh gets us our Field of the Dead triggering. And, well, we're blocking for damage. Opponent might be going on the race plan here, hoping that we're not going to just destroy them. Alright. Do we go for the Growth Spiral to try for an untapped land, or do we go the Circuitous Route? I think we go the Circuitous Route. Though I may get negated for doing this. We did not. Alright, we want unique lands. We don't want Gruul, Simic, or is it? So Azorius and Selesnya. Draw 2. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Golos getting the Field of the Dead would be the 7th. Then we have the Plaza of Harmony as well. Guild Summit's done its job. Thrashing Brontodon is not that great anymore. Is it better to get Golos going for the Field of the Dead, or is it Hydroid Krasis? We can do an X246. An X6 stops Thrashing Brontodon and pretty much everything else from attacking us. Golgari Guildgate. 3, 4, 5. So we can do Golos. We can get a lot of zombies here to block, which is a nice setup. So Golos gets Field of the Dead. Triggers. Then we can play Golgari Guildgate. Get a zombie, draw a card. Most information possible doing this. And then we can do Growth Spiral. And stick down, I guess, Plaza of Harmony. We want the life gain at this point. Because this turn was just to buffer the damage so we could stabilize. That way we can do the Golosh plan. Did I keep in my Chandras? That's probably something I should have taken out because of the elementals. I thought I'd remove them, but I'm finding out that's not the case. They were definitely bad in this matchup, though. Chandra Awakened Inferno, if your opponent's playing any kind of elemental strategy, you want to cut it right out. I think we're getting mass manipulated again. But they can't take advantage of Golos, except for making him a 3-5. So I'm happy with that. We pick up the pieces so easy from a mass manipulation that it's really no big deal. Yeah, X3. So they get 2 2/2s and a 3-5. I mean, they do have the Paradise Druid to make the third colour of mana. Just gonna chump on a Grazer. 11's a little bit precarious, although with a Hydroid Crisis in hand, all we have to do is make sure that we're just not dead immediately on board. Pun. It's too late for the Guild Summit, my friend. How many cards have I drawn off that thing? Way too many. And now I've got another one as well backing me up. So we just want to go for the ramp plan here, I think. Since we already have lands in hand, the Grazer's got its targets. Rejuvenator, it's an Azorius Guildgate. Gets us a zombie. I guess I should probably do Guild Summit. Just to make sure, if I get a Field of the Dead, that's a better thing to play. So I'm going to play Guild Summit, and I'm going to draw 3 cards, leaving open a green for the Grazer. It's Gates Ablaze. Alright, well, we don't need to play Gates Ablaze. So, that's fine. We're going to make a zombie. Hydroid Crisis. Boreal Grazer. Make a zombie, draw a card. Dodge a good spell that's worth negating off the top. So, 1 dead card for our opponent, and there it is. Alright. Whoo, taking down Simic Nissa. I'm just going to call it Simic Nissa. I'm sure it's like Simic Ramp or something, but let's... What is that? What is going on with this game? It is broken. It's actually... It's the... What is that? I've got 1 pip on my gold? Okay. Alright, I guess. Yay! Alright guys, well I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. The deck list is down in the description below if you want to play this one yourself. It is pretty sweet, a lot of fun to pilot. Very much the Gate synergy that you might expect it to be. So if you like the Gate deck, then you're going to love this one. If you like Scapeshift, you're going to love this one. Because I love Scapeshift personally, and I find the Gates deck quite amusing as well. So it's a nice, wonderful little combination of both. But yeah, thanks very much for watching guys. Like and subscribe. Share the video around if you know somebody who might enjoy this deck or this video. Really appreciate that kind of stuff. So thank you very much if you end up doing that. And I will see you all next time. Bye bye.